So this is going to be Rest in Christ, part 2. So we're coming off the last video, last short, where we were discussing at the end that Jesus's grace and teachings, rather than striving under a heavy load of legalism or self-effort. And we ended that video talking about self-effort. And that's something that we all do. We all push ourselves so hard with self-effort. And I don't think we find true rest, as it talks about with rest for your soul. And with that said, we're going to jump into Psalms 23. We're going to do verses 2 and 3. And it says, "He makes me lie down in green pastures. He leads me beside quiet waters. He restores my soul. He guides me in the path of righteousness for his name's sake." And in that passage, it uses imagery of a shepherd leading his sheep to a green pasture and still waters to illustrate God's provision of rest and restoration for the soul. It speaks of peaceful, refreshing rest that comes from being in God's care, which is interesting when you think about that wording, God's care, because I don't think many of us really look at it through that lens of how much he actually does care for us, how much he uses the provisions provided, which must come from us first, which is in accepting, in asking him to come in, and into wanting. Because just like with anything else, he's a God of grace and mercy, but not a God that forces anything upon anybody. It has to be something that where we've came to the end of ourself and we're actively seeking and asking him to come into us, giving him, strangely enough, permission to be able to work in our life. And we'll pick this up in the next video. Thank you for watching.